Yeah, and I started this group in December of last year, so we're coming up on a year, and you know, a tremendous amount has happened in the course of the year. The purpose of this group is really to connect as a community and figure this stuff out. I think one of the things that strikes me over and over again about what's going on with generative AI is that there's so much hype, there's so many people talking about it that I think it feels, if you're new to it, like, oh, there's a bunch of people that have this figured out. And the fact of the matter is that no one has it figured out. The generative AI part in particular, the thing that started with the advent of ChatGPT on November 30th of last year, kind of marks an inflection point where prior to that, it was more about, scientists and researchers and mathematicians, and ChatGPT kind of marks, it's kind of the equivalent of the World Wide Web was to the internet, where, now it's this stuff for the rest of us. And so this group is really about exploring that phenomenon. I'm going to share my screen. A lot of stuff to share tonight. I kind of over prepared, so I got a lot of slides, got a lot of show and tell tonight. So, thanks, Eric. So one of the things about the Salon is that we put down our values, and again, I think it's easy to get caught up in the technology of this, and the hype of this, and oh, it's so exciting, and how do you make money with ChatGPT, and all that sort of crap. And what we wanted to do is say, this is really about community and connecting and supporting one another. And so our values, I'll just sort of read through them here, and I've got them on screen, obviously. Curiosity is one of them. We're eager to learn new things, right? That to me is the most important thing right now. You don't have to be a technologist, but you do have to be curious. Generosity, as you're learning things, share things. And I encourage this on my TikTok lives all the time, where it's not just about learning this stuff, it's about learning it. We're gonna say, bro, your mom. It's like, Mom, you gotta learn this stuff too. It's about putting it out there, even if people think you're flipping weird, right? Just be generous, put things out there. And come on in, welcome. This is the AI thing, welcome. Exploration. So these tools and technologies are changing on a weekly basis. So, start exploring, keep exploring. Don't feel like anything that you've built is too brilliant or too crappy, because 3 months from now, it'll be irrelevant anyway, because everything just keeps changing. Collaboration. A big thing I'm going to talk about tonight is a shift for the Salon that I'm really excited about. And it actually centers around this idea of collaboration. And then inclusion and empathy. We want to get people from as diverse backgrounds as possible, whether it's professional backgrounds or demographic backgrounds. We want as many people as possible coming in from as many angles as possible. Again, we're all trying to figure it out. One of the things that happened, I've talked about this before, but before a Salon, I don't know, 2 or 3 months ago, we were gonna share things that we had learned in AI. And Leah said, "Oh, I just know this really specific part of AI, and I don't think it's going to be relevant to anyone." I said, "Well, just share it anyway." She shared it, and like 3 or 4 people were like, "Oh my God, that was a revelation to me." So that idea that the thing that might be obvious to you is not going to be obvious to someone else. So the smallest little insight you have can make a big difference for people. And the last one is empathy. The amount of change that this generative AI stuff is already precipitating, what it's about to precipitate, this stuff can be scary. And so, especially when you're feeling like, I can't keep up, and I can't learn enough, and everyone's ahead of me, and whatever those feelings might be, it's terrifying. So the Salon is a place of just, understanding people are where they are, and if they're just getting started, awesome. If they've been at it for 10 years and they're bitter that everyone's excited about it now, awesome, right? Take them in and have it. So those are the values of the Salon. And with that, one of my favorite parts of the salon is just getting to know everyone. I see a lot of new faces tonight. I see a lot of familiar faces tonight. So what I'd like to do is just do what we do here and introduce ourselves. So if you would online, so Ken is back. Welcome, Ken. Good to have you back. What we're going to do is, if you're online, raise your hand. It's the second from the right, the little hand up icon on the bottom of the screen there. Raise your hand, and then Ken will call on you. He's going to give you 60 seconds. He's really good at timekeeping. So if you start rambling, he's going to cut you off. But I would love to just know, who you are and what you do, and then kind of where are you on this AI journey. And then something that I'd like to include tonight, we're going to do a little arts and crafts like we did last week. I'd like you to think about a word or a phrase that encapsulates kind of AI for you right now. Like, whatever it might be, terrifying, exciting, the next big thing, whatever it is. And so when you introduce yourself, do that. And then I'd also like you to type that in the chat, type your phrase in the chat, because the chats are also recorded. So we'll capture those. I think it'd be cool to get kind of just a barometer of where everyone is. So raise your hand if you're online. Ken will start that. We have 2 people here in Denver beyond me. So I'm going to just start in Denver. Yeah, we're going to do it. Bradley's very excited about that. So hang on. I don't have a word yet. So, yeah, I'll wing this thing. All right, here we go. Let's see. So, you want to start?
Sure, yeah. Hey, how's it going? I think my word in light of that is going to be wing it. Improvise. My name is Gary. I run an ML ops agency. So we help companies and teams operationalize their ML ops or their machine learning or their AI tools and stuff like that. Just moved to Denver.
Oh wow.
Was based in Seattle. So yeah, that's about me. I've been working in the industry for nearly a decade now, and excited to see what's going on and to learn from you folks.
Yeah, that's awesome, and learn from you as well. I had a meeting today about ML ops. Awesome. So awesome. Oh yeah, there.
Hi, I'm Brad Perkins. I have overwhelmed, I guess, is the word, which I guess Ken, yeah, he had there too. So I actually run a creative agency that originally was built under the traditional model, and then with AI, I figured I'm just going to destroy the traditional model, just because the way that we're going to be working and the way talent is kind of structured is all just going to kind of go out the window with AI developments. So just kind of navigating that and kind of trying to help people understand the importance of design thinking methodologies and identifying your purpose, and more focusing on clarity rather than certainty, because in an uncertain world, you can't bank on certainty. So we can have a clear vision. So that's kind of my navigation through AI, is more on the mental and preparation side of AI rather than the asset creation. So good to hear.
Cool. I guess with that, we'll start with the digital side. Claire Jacobs, you're up first.
Hang on. Okay, the pressure is just like getting to me. Hi. It's my turn, right?
Yep.
My word was magical, because this stuff is clearly either alien tech or magic. I haven't decided which. But it is the coolest thing ever. I used ChatGPT twice today to help give people information about different issues that I thought would be helpful. And I'm really, really excited and happy to be in a regular with Kyle.
Awesome.
Cool. Thanks, Claire. We're glad to have you. Next up, Hannah C.
Hi, my name's Hannah. My background is in mental health and research and an assortment of other things as well. And I find AI to be thrilling. Love it. I love systems. I love things that work well. And so AI just scratches that itch so good.
Thanks.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, Hannah.
Yeah.
Next up is Dean Brady.
Hi. I put childlike excitement with a dash, so it's kind of one word. Having been around at the kind of onset of the commercial internet, I worked for modem companies back in the early 90s, built my first corporate website, I think in like 93. And so this reminds me of that. Just, I think it's going to be an extremely fast pace, as if that wasn't fast enough back then. So I remember what things like Aldous PageMaker did for desktop publishing and, PageMaker.
Yeah.
And so I love this stuff. I've been playing with ChatGPT since it was in early beta. I work at a large pharma company now, so we do a lot of this internally, which you've talked about, Kyle. We have all sorts of fun gates around that. But I've been playing with just about everything. I'm a huge software junkie. I ran tech departments and software teams for years. And so it's funny that every tool I think I have or own now has some variation of AI in it. So it's here. It's not going anywhere. So trying to do exactly like you guys said, of getting ahead of it, trying to understand it, help people apply it, understand it. It's not the end of the world. That's it.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, no, I started when I was an actor in New York. My day job was desktop publishing, and I started on PageMaker. So all this
I remember agency.com. I was at US Robotics back then.
Oh, cool.
Good to have you, Dean. Next up, Peter Kaminsky.
Hi, all. I'm Peter Kaminsky. I'm a technologist. I've been helping people learn and use technology for decades, kind of like Dean. My word is wonder, very similar to Dean's childlike excitement. That's what it feels like today for me. I do a lot of stuff with ChatGPT and Midjourney right now. I've used the other image synthesizers and the other text synthesizers, but ChatGPT and Midjourney are like French kiss. They're great and fun to use, super fun to use. So I'm working with a couple of people. We're creating a company that's going to help train people how to use it in their personal lives and how to use it in their professional lives. Thanks.
Oh, thanks, Peter. We're glad to have you back. Next up, Brian Hedstrom.
Hey, my name is Brian. I own a telecom consulting firm. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yep,
Yeah.
we can hear you. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I own a telecom consulting firm. I focus on software automation and telecom service delivery. Owned that firm for 10 years. My word is scalable or scalability. This is the first time in, forever, I think, that we can now scale humans. And owning a consulting firm way back when I started this, I really wanted to have like 5 of me, and that was a problem, right? Because I had specific domain knowledge, and there wasn't very many of me, and now we have that. So with respect to my interest in AI, it's kind of threefold. Number one, as a business owner, I'm using it for writing blogs and doing social media posting and all that stuff. Obviously, I use it personally as well for health and all kinds of things. Second is learning how to use it as an assistant in my job, right? As an architect, I do a lot of UML and BPMN2 modeling and also building data models. And then third is I'm looking at a new project I've started working on that will teach AI, as one of these chatbots, a specific communications protocol that's quite complex.
All right, great to have you here. Appreciate it.
Nice glasses. I like the amber colored glasses.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Auburn Meisner.
Hi, I'm also in mental health and sexual health, and I think my word feels is frantic. My mom's was breakthrough. But what Brian was just saying, I'm really interested to see how and if there's a way of scaling, parts of the mental health business and making it more accessible. And I'm pretty new to this, but I've been playing with GPT and Pi and just excited to learn.
All right, great to have you both here. Appreciate it. Next up, we have Ann Murphy.
You're muted, Ed. Gotta have it. Gotta have it. You're muted.
Am I still muted?
No.
Oh, we can hear you now.
Oh, how about that? Okay, well, so perfect segue, because my word is vulnerable. I think that it's really easy for a lot of us who are in this like curiosity, you have like this curiosity space and just gobbling up new information every single day. Like Brian just said, like 7 words I've never heard in my life. And if I wait for myself to know all these words, I will never launch anything. And so I've been thinking, like, I hear a lot of people in our like community, broadly defined, talking about having imposter syndrome because they just don't know enough about AI yet to say that they know stuff about AI. And the reframe for me and for the folks I've been talking to is like, it's more important now than ever that you don't get hung up on perfectionism. Whatever it is that you have, whatever passion thing is, whatever, like however you're going to be able to help people with whatever you're learning, just to launch messy and know that you're going to have a vulnerability hangover for like the next 3 years, probably.
Beautiful.
All right, thanks, Ann. It's good to have you here. Next up, we have Trevor Mays.
Hi, I'm Trevor. My background is in healthcare architecture, built environment architecture, not software, and also BIM management, a lot of modeling and 3D kind of stuff. My word was inevitable. It's interesting that like a lot of the conversations we're having now in the architecture side of things with AI were being had like 7, 8, 9 years ago, like when I was graduating, but it was all like speculative. It's like, man, wouldn't it be interesting if we could do these things? And now they're starting to be released to the public in a way that anyone can kind of dip their toes in and mess with this stuff rather than just people who can write code and know machine learning and have those kind of degrees. So the democratization part is really interesting for me.
All right, thanks, Trevor. We appreciate it. Up next, Alan Chudnow.
Yes, thank you. Hello. My word is probably just excited. I've used Claude, ChatGPT, Bing, Midjourney, Bard, and many others. Bing is probably my most common AI that I use. I recently taught Bard to take a picture and extract a block diagram from it and then point design. So that was sort of a fun little task to accomplish. I use AI in engineering all the time. That's just one example to review documents, summarize them, help me write proposals and get a good start. It usually isn't the final offer. It usually gets me a 60% copy in a second, which is faster than I can write from the blank page, even though I like writing from a blank page. Surprising for most engineers, book, The Safe Coffin, which is a Gothic romance. I've mentioned that before, and I'll put in a shameless plug in the chat. So you should all go and buy it. Not that I'll make any money from from my Kindle sales, but it'll make me feel better. So I'd really appreciate your helping me to feel good about writing that book. My current interest in AI is going from pictures to 3D models because I like building trinkets, and so I think that would really help because that would help me to get through my skill, which is I'm not very good at sculpting, and so if I can get the AI to do the sculpting for me, that would be
awesome.
Fantastic.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Up next, we have George Mitchell.
Hi. My word was Nord, which is from Robert Anton Wilson. He's a countercultural writer from like the 60s and onwards. He coined this term as something the powers that be, an invisible word, the powers that be put in between other words to stir unease.
Wait, sorry, George. What was the word?
Fnord, F-N-O-R-D.
Fnord.
Yeah. And to be able to see the Fnord is to no longer be susceptible to a hypnotic power. So jokingly, I guess in the case of this, it would be like finding that wonder and finding that curiosity and so forth. There's so much I was just watching a video about neural radiance fields. It's just incredible. I mean, it's being able to like scan a room into what would have been a point cloud, but it's a perfect recreation of the environment with like reflections and everything. And so the idea of having like these AR overlays of the Apple Vision Pro variety with the amount of power that are in these systems and onwards is just absolutely incredible. It's hard for me to think from like the big picture down, in terms of like an early tweet that this must have been like November, December of last year. It was somebody that had just moved their 3D workflow. They happened to be working on a game that had essentially characters that were like sprites, but they were 3D models that were rotate them around, and then you bake this, you render them, and then they look like a 2D thing that rotates like on an isometric field, like in different directions, like top, like 2/3 perspective downwards. And as soon as they moved to a Midjourney workflow, that person was a 3D artist. They really enjoyed doing 3D art, and so they it would take like 2 or 3 weeks for them to build thing, and so then their job completely transformed to basically just pumping prompts in Midjourney, and they were expressing misery. I can't remember exactly the tweet, but they were just like, "Oh my God!"
All right,
my
George,
job,
we're gonna have to leave it there. I apologize. Appreciate it though. Welcome. Next up, we have Winston Ridgway Hardy.
Oh, you're muted, Winston.
Am I still? Can you hear me now?
Now we can.
Yep, we can hear you. We can hear you now.
Okay. Yeah, I've been a software. I've been a programmer since I was about 15, and I've been a consultant for a lot of big aerospace companies. I worked for Rockwell Collins and for Honeywell and Allied Signal before they were bought by Honeywell. But anyway, I've done a lot of programming, have a lot of experience with, also did database programming and did some security contracts for ChoicePoint and just worked on different encryption algorithms and things like that. But anyway, I'm really enthusiastic is my word. I like Fnord better though. But I'm really happy to be here. I think we're just on the precipice or just entering the gate of what's going to happen with AI and machine learning. Just seems to be such a huge, I don't think it's overhyped. I watch like a lot of shows that say, oh, some of the business people say maybe it's overhyped. Maybe they're overhyping it in their own way, but I think it's really we're on the verge of something that a lot of mathematicians and the people at Bletchley Park, like Alan Turing and Irving Gudak, some of the mathematicians that like saw AI back in the 50s and 60s, and even some of the guys at Bell Labs foresaw what was going to happen, but I think it's going to be bigger than what everybody even thought. I think we can't even imagine it right now. What's going to happen?
What if it's underhyped? Right, Winston.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Good to have you here, Winston.
Thank
Next
you.
up, we have CJ Fletcher. You're muted, CJ.
No, I'm just kidding with you. I just like when you guys think we're
We got punked by CJ. Nice.
Yes. Hi, everybody. Me, CJ. I am a graphic designer and generative artist based out of Aurora, Colorado. And if I had to say my word for the past couple of weeks or overall for AI, as a designer, I'm going to call my word church, because that's what I do. I sit down and I worship and I sing to the heavens when I'm creating. So that's my word.
That's awesome. And I forget who it was earlier. Was it you, Lee, that was talking about the prompting? CJ is a beast. He talked about his process. What was it, last meeting, right, CJ?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's a beast with the prompting. I was, if you're ever having imposter syndrome, I was having it when you were describing how you do prompting. I'm like, I'm such a horrible prompter. So
Good to have you back, CJ. Next up, we have Shawnee MCG.
That's me. Well, I guess my word I would say right now is kind of like OCD on overload. Like I have like 50, I literally have like 20 tabs open, and I'm in all these Discord groups, and it's insane. I fell in love with it from I heard about it back in November. I got on ChatGPT. It's changed my life phenomenally. Like I'm actually graduating from Colorado Tech in like 3 weeks. Even though I live in Philadelphia, I work for one of the major top 5 ISPs. I'm a project manager. I've been in the game since like Y2K. I became like an A+ technician to make sure I went to a lot of Fortune 500 companies to make sure they were compliant and all that. So, and I did consulting, name a role, I've been in it over the last 20 or so years. As far as this is concerned, I am just amazed by it. It has, like me writing papers, it has cut my time. I don't have to do like 3-4 days. I can do this in hours. Like it can put the information in, tell me the key points that I need to know, and I'm good. I'm learning like this prompt engineering. I'm taking as many courses as I can. I'm in a group that has like this hackathon, which is like a theme-based where you create prompts related to announce like themes. So and it's a space where everyone's new. So it's like, even if you feel like an imposter, the people who are experts are like 6 months, deep. Like they're not that far ahead of you. So I'm really I'm really an advocate for it. And I found out recently, like only 18% of the United States population has ever even used ChatGPT. That's insane to me. Like no one, I'm getting comments from people on blogs saying, oh, this is the end of humanity, and talking about Skynet. And I'm like, we're light years ahead of, way from that. Even if it happens, we're not there yet. And they're like, this is not in the, one lady told me, this is not in the Bible, as she's typing this on Facebook. I'm like, this platform that you're typing on. Like, are you hearing yourself? This is insane. It's not, this is going to change. I mean, it's going to get rid of a lot of jobs, but I mean, you have to upskill. It's going to bring forth so many new opportunities, and we won't have to work as hard. Like, who wants to do that? If I don't have to work harder.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We'll have to leave it there, Chandra.
Yeah.
It's good to have you here. Welcome. And next up, we have Nakia Cash.
Hey, thanks. It's Nakia, but that's okay. It is a complicated name.
Oh, apologize, Nakia.
No worries, no worries. Hey guys, I've been here I think for the last 3 weeks now in AI. I've moved to Boulder recently. I shouldn't say I'm not from Boulder anymore, because I just got my Boulder, what do you call it? I think is it Coloradans?
Subaru?
I'm an official color. Yeah, maybe I'm a super yeah, Colorado now. So my word is gobsmacked. I don't know. So my word would be gobsmacked, and one of the reasons I think, I'm hearing everyone saying about how they're overwhelmed when they first used it. My background is from business intelligence and software architect consultant for B2B SaaS companies. But when I started using ChatGPT and AI as well, I was super overwhelmed. You can ask Kyle 3 weeks ago, I'm messaging him on LinkedIn, like, how do I even use, what's a Discord? How do I get to, that kind of thing. And that was just 3 weeks ago. Now using with AI Salon, I would say thank you guys. I created my first, I'm starting my own business as on the side. I actually created my own business logo using Midjourney. 3 weeks ago, I didn't even know how to log into Discord, right? So whoever here is overwhelmed, a piece of advice, once you're in it, you're just learning and becoming a sponge, you will get there. And honestly, AI Salon's really helped me with it. So yeah, that's my little, I'm right now all into it. And the reason I use the word gobsmacked is I went to a CU campus. There was an event yesterday with AI and robotics, and they had the Boston machines, the little dog there, and they used ChatGPT AI, to be able to help it move around caves, etc. But using ChatGPT's predictive generative AI to do that, and also Furhat, I got to see that face as well. That's out there right now. So that was again using generative AI. So I'm like, I'm just learning as a sponge. But again, if you're overwhelmed, don't be. If I can create a logo with just using Midjourney, anyone can do this.
It's good to have you back. Up next, we have Eric Sanner.
Hello, everyone. This is always a highlight of the bi-month to be here. My word is open because I think AI is kind of inherently, it's so big and so transformative that we're at a singularity where we can imagine some ways that this is going to play out, but it is bigger than any view that anyone can hold in their head right now, in my opinion. And then I am also open. I want to use more and more tools and do more and more things and just kind of expand what I do. So for many years, I was an artist. And then in the last few years, I had this kind of change of mind where just, is art a gift? Is that enough? And it's now I'm a little more focused on something pragmatic. I want to solve somebody's problems. So with my life coach, I made this little Venn diagram yesterday, which says viable, enjoy, and world bettering. So I'm open to all and any career advice. If you have any clue of something that I will enjoy that will make the world a better place, that I can also make a living at, hit me up. Thanks, everyone.
Nice.
All right. Good to see you again, Eric. Appreciate that. Next up, we have Lee Chazen.
Hi, everyone. Lee Chazen out here in Sacramento. Just a quick note that I did spend 2 years of high school in Colorado, Delta, Colorado on the West Slope, and then 1 year in Greeley, went to Colorado State. So I know Colorado and I miss it. I'm getting the same vibe from this group that I used to get from Colorado, which is that it's open and humane. And I like that approach, especially when we're talking about technologies, to be around people who also seem to care and want to be creative and who want to be collaborative and not always so competitive. And so that's kind of how I'm approaching prompt engineering. And what I'm doing is that I realize I can't do this by myself. I'm diving off the deep end into some things that are very hard to explain. I spent last night doing a 1 hour podcast that I haven't put out there yet. But it was just trying to explain what it is I do, and that it is not the same as software engineering. It requires a different part of our brain and a different skill set, I think altogether, a different mindset, which is, one of the terms I wanted to write down was hyper generalist, meaning you're not good at just one thing, but you're good at all these things and the space in between those things as well, all the connective tissue. The other word I wrote down was infinite, meaning I've got to put some parameters around this or I'm going to get lost and never come back. And so I've taken deep dives that you don't even want to know. Some of the prompts I've created in the middle of the night where I kind of explore like how to solve the meta crisis with the 4 lines of code from Conway's Game of Life, the cellular automata experiment back in the early 1970s. I've got one, you see the picture behind me. It is a person talking to their future self to get advice from that person about where they should go and how they will get there. And that was also generated from a prompt. And the dialogue will blow you away. But how I sell this to people, I don't know. I want to get out there and solve some problems and help the world in some way and also get paid. So I'll just put a quick pitch that I'd like to put a meeting together maybe for this Friday or something for anyone who'd like to share some strategies. And I'll stop there.
All right, good to have you here, Lee. Appreciate it. Next up, we have Camilla Esser. Hope I said that right. Camilla.
You got it, actually. Yes. I am over on the western slope of Colorado, and my word for tonight is enlivened. I feel like I have come alive again with this stuff, playing around with it every day. I was with IBM for nearly 25 years before I left last year, and figuring out what I want to do when I grow up. And I am honored to be an irregular, and I go by Dragonfly on Discord and TikTok.
Awesome. Thank you.
Good to have you with us today, Camilla. Looks like next up we have Jack Lueck.
Yeah, hi. I'm Jack Leek, and I am just a recent graduate from CSU. I studied computer engineering with an emphasis on getting machine learning models to run on embedded systems, so like cell phones and stuff like that. So, and like the different kinds of processors and accelerators you can use to make them run really smoothly. And now I'm just trying to get a feel of what, this area sort of looks like in Colorado.
Awesome. And you have awesome hair.
Oh, thank you.
Appreciate you being with us today, Jack. Looks like next up we have Ty Pat.
Hi there. Can you hear me okay?
Yep, we can hear you.
Excellent. Ty Patterson, I'm a software engineer over in the San Francisco area. Also a lurker, a regular on Kyle's channel there, promoted all the time. And props to you, Kyle. That is just such an incredible live that you do. I'm promoting it all over the place. Your style and comedy is just absolutely lovely. So I guess my word might be like muse or inspiration right now, because I've been very much into machine learning, but the recent, generative excitement and amazement and all the words that have been said before me have really helped inspire me into figuring out what my next steps are in my love of computer science and where I want to take things. So it's been quite an inspiration, and I'm still figuring out what that means. And just very brief about me, I'm software engineer. Did like Netopia, Farallon, Cisco, a lot of low-level communications and telecom, network analysis, traffic security, that kind of stuff. And I'm kind of curious now about applying AI in the areas of info security and local kind of IoT style stuff, running stuff locally, your personal assistant, Ask Jeeves, and, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, that's it for me. And I also just want to throw out there that I am looking for new opportunities right now and always find things organically. So I just want to throw that kind of stuff out there in case I run into anyone. That's it.
Awesome. All right. Welcome, Ty. Appreciate that. Looks like Ken Nangle, you're up next.
Okay. Well, my name is Ken Nangle. I'm from Sonoma County in California. And I've been in IT since 1983, doing consulting. My peak experience was I had a 50-person consulting practice. I retired and have been doing coaching for SCORE and other coaching. But I came out of retirement for this. In fact, at the moment, side coaching for SCORE, and I work for a yoga studio doing some consulting. I'm starting up an AI consulting practice here to do training rather. And I'm also developing an app. I have an app idea, but I'm not revealing the details of it because you're not all under NDA. My word is overwhelmed. I feel like I'm kind of late to the game and early at the same time. Late to the game, and
You're correct. You're both.
Yeah, I am both. But just this morning, I attended a webinar that apparently a few other people have on Maker Suite by Google. And the reality is that if you don't keep up every day, you get behind. And so, yeah, I'm thoroughly overwhelmed by the number of things to learn, the number of apps that keep popping up, and platforms. You know, it's a huge field. It's just nascent. It's a nascent, huge field. So I'm really excited, actually.
Well, good to have you here, Ken. Appreciate it. And it looks like last but not least is Jason.
Hey, good evening. My name is Jason. I in the Denver metro area. I am an associate for a venture capitalist firm. The word that I would throw out there would be opportunity. So I think there's a lot of opportunity. Well, obviously there's a lot of opportunity for AI, and it's going to lead to a huge business boom. So tend to come at it from, you know, a business perspective and seeing what type of opportunities exist for new businesses and new business paradigms out there.
Awesome. Welcome. Okay, that was awesome. I'm always reticent to do those things like, you know, what's your spirit animal? You know, those kind of icebreaker things. But I'm really glad we did this. Like the words. First of all, you're all very thoughtful. So thank you for that. I'm gonna do a couple of things now. I'm gonna, for those of you who have not been on Discord, let's grab this for a second. So I'm popping into the chat. Wait for it. It's gonna be so good. You totally work the way. Okay. If you're not on the Salon Discord, I just popped the invite into the chat. I encourage you to go there now. What I'm going to do right now, I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to walk you through a little bit of what's in the Discord, what's there, and what it is. For those of you that haven't been there before, just take a deep breath. It's gonna be fine. You're gonna be with the cool kids, you know, hanging out in Discord. I heard, you know, my sons are 23 now. You know, I've heard them talk about it for years, and then I started getting into NFTs. All of a sudden, now I'm in Discord. They're like, "Dad, what are you doing in Discord, man? You're not cool." So I'm gonna walk you through it, and then we're gonna do a couple of things in Discord tonight, and I want to talk about a new idea for the salon that's actually related to it. So I think Discord could end up being a big resource for us, a bigger resource. So when you come into Discord, on the left-hand side here, these are servers. So like this one looks like Adobe's logo. That's the Adobe Firefly server. And this one with a little sailboat is the Midjourney server. So servers are basically communities. So you have different communities. So if you've been here before, you know all this. This is the AI Salon. And then down the left-hand side, you have these conversations. So these are the different conversations within the AI Salon. It's totally overwhelming, right? So I'm glad that the last word, or second to last word we got to there was, you know, overwhelmed. There's a lot going on. There's little categories. So, you know, announcements to introduce yourself. So when you first come in to Discord, you're kind of dropped into this introduction thing, and Discord will sort of announce you that you've come, and then occasionally people will wave, you know, with these little icons. What I would encourage you to do, back to that idea of generosity, one of the values of the salon is don't just hop in here. Hop in here and introduce yourself. Tell us about yourself, just like we just did going around here. And you know, it will let people in the community know who you are, what you're up to, what you're excited about, things like that. Then we've got some resources. You know, some of these are AI resources, some of these are salon resources, like the description that's got our values in it, things like that. Guilds I'm going to talk about in a bit. That's a brand new thing that is just being born tonight. And then there are discussions, AI confessionals. You can go talk about, you know, something that you tried and failed with, something that you tried and had, you know, an exciting time with. Let me just confirm. I'm sharing my screen. Yes. Okay.
Yep.
I've done this before. I've done this with clients before. I'm talking for like 15 minutes. They're like, "Are we supposed to be seeing anything?" Oh God! All right. So prompt crafting chat. We were talking before about prompt crafting. What's going on with prompt crafting, and people come in and share something that they've done, and again that idea of generosity. If you learn something, share something. Legal and ethics. Writing, image tools, things like that. Music. Video, entrepreneur, right? If you're thinking about starting something, Bradley's putting together the agency of the future. Could talk about that again. You can also play with Midjourney. So in the Midjourney Play channel, you can make images. So it looks like someone's in here making some images. And there's one I did last night on my TikTok Live. And, so you can come in and play. You can ask questions, things like that. There's a ChatGPT area where you can play with ChatGPT, and then there's also a show and tell channel. So what I'd like to do is we did this last week and it was really fun. So I want to kind of continue it. Lee and I called it arts and crafts. So what I'd like you to do is go into the chat, and of all the words that people said tonight and typed into the chat, pick one that you like. And it could be the one that you came up with. It could be one that someone else came up with that resonated with you. And I want you to go to, someone have a question? Oh, it's the Discord. No, Bob, I think Bob raised his hand. Bob, you have a question? All right, maybe we can signal something. So I want you to go to ideogram.com or ideogram.ai, IDOGRAM.ai. And as we're talking about other stuff, go in here and pick one of your words. We'll do overwhelm. So what ideogram is, if you don't know, it's an image generation tool. It's about 2 weeks old or something like that. It's some ex-Google guys that were they're funded by Andreessen Horowitz. I think they raised, I don't know, $62 million or something like that. This is the first generative image tool that can do text. So I want you to go find, something in here that you like the style of, or just experiment on your own. Pick your word and create an image that features that word, and toss it in the show and tell channel. So come over to the show and tell channel in Discord and share the image that you created. So for the rest of the meeting, you can just sort of do this in the background and play this in the background. But go over here and let's see. I'll pop one in. I like this tree. So I'm gonna grab the prompt here. So one thing you can do is you just click on the thing and it'll show you the prompt that made that image. So I'm just gonna go grab that. I'm gonna say paste, and then so you can click on these little things. This one says typography, fantasy. What's fantasy? Art fantasy. Oh, fantasy art. I guess I just wrote that in. And then I'm going to change this word to overwhelm. Vertically generate. And just go play. And one of the fun things about these tools is that you can kind of mindlessly be brilliant. And so just as you're listening to the rest of this, just go be mindlessly brilliant. I don't know why that one disappeared, but that's really cool. It's not quite finished yet. But what I'll do is I'll just copy this image. I'll head over to Discord and I'll say paste. And now that's there for the world to see. So I would encourage you to just go do that. Okay? All right. So shout out to Dragonfly Alchemy for this. So she pointed this out to me earlier. I immediately thought of CJ for this, but then I also thought of the rest of the salon. So Google is putting on this thing called FlowGPT Hackathon, which is a prompting hackathon. And so they have a cool landing page for one thing. So that's but here's what hit me. You can sign up for this thing, and you can sign up with 2 additional teammates. So you can do teams in here. And so in the spirit of collaboration, one of the values of the Salon, what I thought was, wouldn't it be cool to have members of the Salon enter this hackathon, either as an individual or maybe, identify people that you resonated with tonight, or go into Discord, find people that you like and sign up. And if you're lucky, you'll sign up with CJ, because I think CJ is going to take this thing. But they've got a $10,000 reward, which, maybe we win something. But I figured it might just be neat to sign up for this thing and enter the contest, do your prompts. Even if you're brand new to this, enter this. Anything you can do to sort of put yourself out there, practice prompting, have a specific challenge that you're trying to solve. Just over and over again, you will discover new things when you try stuff that's out of your comfort zone. So I just thought this was a really cool idea, and I want to put it out there. So I would encourage you, either in chat, sort of hook up with people, or in Discord, go into Discord, and then join the hackathon. Why not? And maybe even share that you joined it, and share what you came up with, and say that you're doing it as part of the Salon. All right. So that's that. What's the next one? Okay. So last meeting, Bradley, I'm going to call you out a little bit here. Sorry. Bradley presented some thinking behind the new agency that he's putting out there. And one of the things that you talked about was the idea of influencers are going to be the new salespeople. This idea that people are, they've got kind of their circles, their circles of community and their circles of influence. And that in this new world, historically paraphrasing here, I could let you say this, but basically, historically, salespeople would sort of fill the Rolodex of the company, right? And the intellectual property kind of stayed with the company. And that we're kind of moving to this thing where the world of community around each individual is getting increasingly powerful. The world of IP around that person is getting increasingly powerful. And that the individual is, going to have power. And so that idea really struck me, because I was, what hit me is before you said that last week, I was sort of thinking as my different communities. I've got my TikTok Live community, the irregulars, and I've got the Salon, and I've got LinkedIn, and I've got Facebook. I've historically thought about them as kind of distinct and separate, right? That was the Facebook thing. Like I was sort of giving over my power to, that's the Facebook community and that's the LinkedIn community, and I had them separated. And all of a sudden, it kind of smashed into my brain that, oh, they're all connected, right? And these are people that I have relationships with, right? These are ideas that I have relationships with. And so then I started thinking a lot about the Salon. And I thought, so the way the Salon has acted up to this point is, Leah and I host it. We bring some people together. We've got some organizers, but it's pretty much centered around these meetings. And while we have a Discord, the Discord is organized around topics, right? Here's the image tools. Here's the video tools. Here's the prompting tools. And what hit me was, no, this is a community, and we've got a community with leaders within it that are doing really interesting things. And why not use the framework with the Salon as a way for individuals to connect with different communities and have a place to engage with them. And so this started after our meeting last week. We went over to Zeppelin Station and we were having drinks and we were sort of kicking around the ideas. One of the ideas we kicked around was, maybe we do sort of more media stuff And then one of the ideas was, well, what if we create cohorts? What if we create groups where individuals within the salon can step up and say, yeah, I want to lead a group. I want to lead a cohort. So I was talking about it with a number of people, and Lee and I talked about it earlier today. And so came up with the idea of guilds. And so what are the AI salon guilds going to be? And this is a conversation I want to have. I want to open this up as a conversation right now. But here's my thinking. The guilds are specialized groups exploring unique facets of generative AI. So Bradley, you're really into kind of the future of work and, you know, this idea of what's freelancing look like in this new world. And so, or what's an agency look like? There might be that. Lee is really into photography. Jane's really into copywriting. So a guild is something that's going to explore a unique facet of generative AI. They're going to be curated by passionate leaders guiding the discussions and initiatives. So, you know, it shouldn't just, like what hit me was, it shouldn't just be me like saying, okay, here's what we're going to talk about this week, or the organizer saying, here's what we're going to talk about this week. What if we had conversations ongoing, you know, independent of these meetings we can check in on? So we have leaders can step up and do that. That the guilds become collaborative hubs for innovators and thinkers and AI enthusiasts. They can get in there and collaborate. Like the meeting tonight started with Lee saying, hey, I want to collaborate. And there's not an easy way to do that. That there's opportunities for deeper dives and mentorship and project collaboration. And then finally, that you can discover resources and insights and build deeper. So that's what the guilds are. My initial instinct is that they're going to live in Discord. We'll create a guild area. But what I feel strongly about is that each guild needs a guild master. And the guild, who's the guild master? Well, they're the ones that determine, you know, what the guild is, what its focus is, what its activities are. What are the activities? I don't know. That could be anything. It could be, you know, within Discord. It could be outside of Discord. It could be, you know, it could be something completely different. But there's a home base thing. They lead the guild's Discord area, and then they engage and manage community participation. So the whole idea is that a guild master can say, hey, anyone who's interested in photography or the future of agencies or whatever it might be, can join that guild. And one of the things, this gets back to the influencer thing. One of the things that hit me is it's not just about the tactical execution of what you're talking about in the guild. So if you're in the guild and you're talking about photography or copywriting, some people are going to opt in because that topic is of interest to them. But some people are going to opt in because they really resonate with Leah or with Bradley, or, you know, they connect with the people, right? And just this idea of giving leaders within the community opportunity to kind of build their own communities around a topic that, you know, makes that expertise in that community available to everyone. So with that, I would love to just kind of open it up for maybe I don't know, a 10 or 15 minute conversation, and ask you, you know, what do you think of the idea? And I'd love to hear what your thought of, you know, just guilds are in general, what they could be, what they should be, what I've missed, what your hopes and dreams are, because I don't know, as of a week ago, this didn't exist. And all of a sudden to me, it feels actually really important and elemental for the salon for it to evolve. So let me just open it up. And if you're online, just raise your hand and Ken will call on you. And since I called you out, Bradley, can I give you the first opportunity to jump in?
Sure. No, stop sharing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, the concept of the guild, we talked about it 2 weeks ago, of really how can this become more of a community, because, you know, a lot of people aren't getting involved, and how can we learn AI from individuals we trust, but also talk about not necessarily how to use Midjourney, which is useful, but we're getting inundated with that of how to make $1 million in a minute using this tool. It's like, okay,
Like,
You can make money with ChatGPT.
right. Yeah, no kidding. But really some of the mental aspects that we have to start adjusting in, working with AI. So yeah, the AI or the influencer comment was really about how social media has kind of made it important. And it's always been around with networking and how important it is to connect with other individuals, but with the battle between employees and employers, the importance of kind of growing your tight-knit community outside of work, but also a friend group that is primed for the future. Not to say it, not, it's fine having a friend group to go out and have beers with and watch football games with and all that kind of stuff, but people that are of like-minded around technology is going to be really important. So, the concept of a guild and it being categorized not necessarily for mid-journey prompts or text prompts, but really around purpose of business, community, personal development of, how it can revolutionize how you shop for groceries, just simple things like that. I think, can be a powerful tool and, grow. Because right now the community is really us getting thrown things with on social media of how we can, make money off people and things like that. So there just needs to be a little bit more of a neighborhood feel to the AI community. So
great, awesome. Are you saying you want to be a guild master?
If others feel that I can wield the guild, then
awesome. Other thoughts?
All right, I guess we will start with George Mitchell.
Yeah, I just want to say I think the guild idea is great. I mean, I love the idea of guilds and just kind of what it connotes, and it's really imminent, it's really emergent. Just having somebody take a bit of their interest and sort of steward it, and get people around them and discuss things and stuff. It's awesome. I love the slide too. So I don't know if I have anything more to say than that, but it's cool.
Awesome. Thank you.
Cool. Appreciate the input. Lee Chazen.
Yeah, I want to second what George just said. The guild is a great idea. And, we need leadership and collaboration in this space. It just, whenever I come into this meeting, I think, God, I needed to talk to most of you through the course of this week, but I never had the chance because I got so busy trying to make all the generative AI stuff that I'm doing, the prompt work, actually work. And so there are those of us who, we're doing a creative thing, but we also have to find the right people to make this happen, to turn it into something real. And I'm thinking, you could even use AI to effectively match people together based on personality type or creative interests or their pursuit or their passion. I've been doing all kinds of work on generating tables to match people to jobs for one candidate, or to match a student to their potential future. And so I just think, I'd like to see some more structure around this through the form of a guild. I think it'd be great.
Okay, great.
Cool. Thanks, Lee. Peter Kaminsky, you have something you want to add?
Yeah, I do. I just got a little bit of feedback whine. It went away. Kyle, it's a great idea. Love it. I want to say I come from kind of a guild of guilds, or a couple of guilds of guilds actually, and the online and various online communities that have been around for a couple of years, partly centered, Kyle, around Jerry Mikulski, a friend that we have who's been doing community stuff for a long time. I really love the idea. I'm doing Guildmaster stuff over there. I'd love to do Guildmaster stuff here if it works out. I think we've actually come up with a word guilds before in those communities, but what we think of more is projects. So guilds and projects kind of go together. I think maybe the guilds here want to have, I think you want to say, here's a guild and this is the kind of thing we're focused on. And here's, our lead project, or here's another project that, we've got waiting in the wings or something like that. The things I'd be interested in here, as I kind of mentioned, I don't want to make this sound overly commercial. I apologize. It's been a long day of slaving away at the AI minds, so I feel like a little bit low energy and not presenting maybe as well as I could. But I've got a little 3-person startup. We're focused on helping people learn how to use ChatGPT, Midjourney, things like that. So I'm interested in a guild that, I guess, let me back up again and apologize again, kind of over apologizing. I'm sorry, I'm apologizing. Over in the other community, I'm known as a person who's very generous and gives a lot of time and teaches people a lot of stuff without asking anything back. So when I say that I want to help people learn about ChatGPT or Midjourney or other tools and how we can help them and how that can be done in the context of my little 3-person startup, it's a lot more about helping people and working with people, having fun doing that. And also we need to figure out how to make that also a paying, going concern. So along with how people learn AI tools and how we can help them, how we can help teach them, I'm interested in also kind of lead to your point, how do you market in the current society, in the current situation? When you raise your hand and you say, hey, I want to teach you about ChatGPT, or I want to teach you about Midjourney, you and 100 other people, most of which are kind of dreck, not very useful. How do you make yourself stand out? How do you get enough volume? I'm really concerned that I'm starting a business that is going to be really hard to market. I think there's a ton of demand, and I think there's going to be amazing people, some of the people here who are going to be fulfilling the demand of helping people learn what AI is and how to use it. But cutting through the noise of everything that happens on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or whatever, how do you cut through that noise in any sane way?
Yeah.
And then the last thing that I kind of want to have a guild around, I've had this puzzle for a long time. I see literally thousands of Midjourney images a month because I'm making them. How do I show people the best of those in a way that doesn't overwhelm them and doesn't overwhelm me? So, kind of like in the olden days when you had a family slideshow, let me show you my travel slides. It's like, okay, those travel slides are amazing for you, and I'm interested in 1 or 2 of them. I'm not interested in 100 of them. So I kind of need that same, how do you pick the 1 or 2 that blow people's minds? Maybe with Midjourney images, it's like 10 or 20 or 50. But how do you pick the ones that blow people's minds? How do you show the ones that are amazing for those people, but not to those? How do you sort that out? How do you how do you get more people looking at amazing images and showing you amazing images, right? I've got an online gallery right now. It's got 1,000 images. I've got literally 15,000 more I want to shove into that. It takes a lot of time just to do that work, right? And then if I'm doing that work, how do I make that important to other people? So
Okay.
that's me.
That's good.
Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. And my thought on the guild masters is that they can set the agenda, right? So the idea is that essentially the host of the sub-community might say, one of them focuses on, okay, you're interested in marketing. Maybe that's something you want to pursue. I could imagine there being a guild for beginners, right? Because we're going to have a lot of people coming into the salon that are brand new. And so maybe someone's just learning this stuff and they become the guild master of the beginners group as a way for them to learn, right? That they can teach others the basics, right? So I really do want it to be open-ended and people to just kind of say, I'd be interested in leading a cohort of guild that does X, Y, or Z, and then you can set the agenda. So that's my thought of it right now. That's great.
All right,
Ken,
looks like
I'll let you go ahead.
Sure. It looks like Shawnee, you have something you want to contribute?
Yeah, I guess following off of what Peter was talking about as far as I'm on the same kind of path. I am building a company, well, starting a company around AI, but I want to start like a group first to kind of build up and see what the need is. My group, I want to focus on women, especially women of color, because I know that my demographic is underrepresented on both parts as being a woman and being a woman of color. So I'm building a model around that based upon creating a group, finding out the need. And I've also signed up with a few softwares as a service for marketing, and because social media marketing and marketing in general is just huge right now. And I'm in a few groups on Facebook, and there is a Peter, build your group. They will come, because there's so many people in the comments that either are scared of AI or they don't know what to do in it. And I think my whole premise around the group that I'm building is to show them we're going to learn together. This is all brand new. So I'm going to start something where I'm going to do maybe lives or things of like that, picking a software of the week or something, because there's like 1,000 of them every day that's coming out. I get emails and I'm like, what is this again? So I want to go through as many of that I can for them to basically embrace this new technology and maybe like catalyze on it and monetize it, because there's so much money to be made as well. And I think AI is going to revolutionize a lot, and it's going to allow a lot of just normal folks to be able to, like working moms, working that, like it's going to allow them to be able to, a lot of freedom to be able to work from home and to be able to do a lot of things, especially on the social media space, which billions of people are on these platforms daily, and content is needed. And AI has now made it so much easier for you to create content and marketing materials and copyright materials. Like, you don't have to do anything, even affiliate marketing. It's going to blow up that space where you don't have to know how to code to build these pages. And so I would like, the guild would be awesome, and to be in the group where we're kind of with people with the same ideas, because I know some people want to just do prompt engineering, some want to do developing. There are people like us that are passionate about getting the word out there and teaching others. So that would be a nice way to split the groups up. Thanks.
Great.
All right, we appreciate it. Ann Murphy, you're next.
Yeah, Kyle, I was just going to ask you if, as you were thinking about this, did you have subject matter domains in mind when you were thinking about guilds? Was it like problems, activities, or?
I don't know. No, I didn't. I mean, I initially went to, okay, let's come up with a taxonomy of the perfect things. And then, so what I don't like about approaching it from a taxonomy first approach is that I think it makes the guilds more about the tactical execution than about the community. And so what I thought, one is I just wanted to have this conversation and put it out there. And what I thought was, why not start with whoever wants to kind of step into a leadership position and say, hey, yeah, I'm willing to do that. And then what we as the organizers can do is say, okay, we got a bunch of people that want to do stuff. Okay, 3 of them want to do something around marketing, and 2 of them want to do something over here. That maybe we consolidate and things like that. But I didn't necessarily want to say, these are the 6 subjects that we're going to have a guild about. I kind of wanted it to be a bit more organic initially. I think over time we'll sort of settle into things, but I think what we're going to talk about at the next organizers meeting, which is Thursday this week, is there are some organizing activities where we need support, and then there's these guilds. And so I think for the organizing activities, I think those will iron out a bit more. for the guilds, I think I want it to be a bit more organic and just see where it goes. And you know, right now I'm thinking of it as an experiment of sub communities within the salon that can kind of have their own life, and I don't want to restrict that too much.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. So the first thing that came to my mind as I thought about a guild was like AI for social justice. And under that goes a whole bunch of stuff, right? Goes AI in marketing, AI in communication, AI in whatever. So a guild like that is something that I think would be really different. I've seen in other spaces, you know, there's a this for marketing, a this for creators, a this for whatever. I love the idea of being able to bring all those other kind of like functions into a theme. If that makes sense.
Yep, great.
That's all.
Okay.
Good idea. I love it.
Appreciate it, Anne. All right, Nakia, you have something like that?
I know that we're only got like a little few more minutes left to finish this conversation. So a very small add-on to everything is I love the idea of Anne where you're like it's stackable. You know, I'm very much a organized freak, so I'm like notebooks under books under then you know I have these sort of stackable. I'm very much like that when it comes to organizing my files. I do like that idea. Second thing I want to add is the whole guild idea thing is great as well. One other thing I would add is to, you know, everyone's point here, when you think, Kyle, about having people in charge of certain things, I think it would be a good idea if somebody wants to say, okay, I'm an organizer and then I want to be like a moderator or I want to be a sub-organizer, kind of how you have Ken and Kyle team here. It's important because it's so hard sometimes, I feel, to, you know, be the Batman without the Robin. Well, I shouldn't say that. I don't know what it is, but you know what I mean. Like, I think having people to say, hey, I would love to be part of this group. Let's say Anna's, or let's say Shani, you're saying I'm going to do women of color, which I am as well. And I'm like, hey, I would love to sub with you. Could we do together? Because one day you might not be able to come there, or maybe I can do it. And I think that could be a good partnership as well. Maybe also recommend that thing. Hey, we have an organizer, but we'd like a sub. Just a little 2 cents there.
No, I think it's really good, and I think having the people that are leading these be visible is an important piece of this as well. But yeah, that's great.
Appreciate the info.
One more, George.
George.
Yeah, I was thinking like, I mean, like, you know, like I'd probably like to be a guild master, and then you know, like, you know, questions started running in my head, like, oh shoot, like how long does it last? And, you know, obviously things about like, you know, what the topics might necessarily be and so forth. It strikes me like figuring out as you go is fine. I would, I like, you know, I'm more like typically more like a facilitator type person, not so much like a leader type person, except in the capacity of like leading by curiosity. Like I'm interested in, you know, things, you know, how a game developer can like, you know, magnify or amplify their asset creation abilities and things like that. So there's certain questions of like, you know, in painting or like sprite creation, you know, all kinds of different things that are related to that. And so they kind of glom around to different, like a number of themes. And it, like, I have no idea what I would necessarily do. That would be what I'd be interested in myself.
Yeah. Okay, so let's do this. I'd like to continue the conversation. If you have other ideas about the guilds, or if you want to sort of toss your hat in the ring, I'm trying to think where to do it. I think let's do it just in the introduce yourself section of Discord. If you're interested in this, just put a comment in here. You know, I'm interested in being a guild master, and just a sentence or two about your thought about what you want it to be, and then I'll work with the organizers. We'll go through those and pull those out and figure out a mechanism to sort of put this in place. What I'll likely end up doing is, once we determine what we want the initial ones to be, we'll create this area within Discord, and then the idea is that as a guild master, you'll be able to invite people. So just go to the introduce yourself section and just talk about if you're interested in doing that, and then we'll take it from there. So thank you for all that feedback. Okay, shifting gears a bit, I just want to very quickly show you a new thing. Back to the idea of overwhelm. I know a lot of you in here have seen this. If if you were on my TikTok lives, I posted this on LinkedIn. This is one of those technologies that just kind of snuck out of nowhere. Someone within my TikTok lives pointed it out that it was here. Like, oh, you just go to the labs button and you can do this. So I think this is relatively new, like within a week or two. The site is called HeyGen, which is one of those sites that can do synthesized voice and things like that. If you go to the labs button, labs.heygen, there's an option called video translate. And then you can upload any video and it will translate it in, right now it's up to 8 languages. This is remarkable. There was a company, I did a video on a company called Flawless AI last February or March that did this. But when I went to ask about pricing, they were basically like, is your film production under 100,000, 100,000 to 1 million, 1 million to 10 million, 10 million to 100 million, or 100 million plus? So they were clearly going for the Hollywood market. This is like $60 a month for 30 credits, and each video can be 5 minutes. And so I just want to share with you. So this was a video that I made, I don't know, last February or something like that. So I downloaded some of the raw segments from this video, uploaded them into HeyGen, and put them back in the StoryBright system that reassembled them. So the video you're going to see, you'll see me introduce myself in English, and then watch. Oh, you might not be able to hear it. Wait, can you hear that online?
No, I can't hear it.
Wait, hold. I didn't think about sonic reality.
I heard a tip that if you're using Chrome for your video output, if you put it in Safari, it should work. The voice.
Yeah, it might work there. Let me try this. I turned off noise cancellation. You hear that?
No, I still can't hear it.
Here, we'll just do it live.
Yeah, just talk. Wait. Oh, it sucks. Oh, okay. So, all right. Oh, I know what I can do. Hold. There's more than one way to do this. It's gonna be
Whilst
so
you're
good.
figuring that out, Kyle, I just want
Yeah.
to tell people that I did watch it on LinkedIn, and oh my God, I was mind blown.
Yeah,
I was just like, no, really, no. It's that good.
Kyle's been taking night classes to learn Italian, I think.
Yeah, exactly. If you knew my relationship with learning foreign languages, that would be hilarious. Okay, so now if I share a tab, and this one.
Clienti dicono
Can you hear that?
che il contenuto modulato.
Hello? Yeah, I'm seeing thumbs up. Thumbs up? Okay.
Clienti dicono che il contenuto modulare è importante, rendendo più efficiente la creazione dei contenuti. Dietro di me vedi queste piccole scatole verdi? Così pensiamo alle storie. A Storyvine scomponiamo le storie in atomi, moduli piccoli, così catturiamo il contenuto. Organizzati e strutturati così funziona per tutto, dalla cattura o produzione di contenuti con la produzione video tradizionale all'utilizzo di questi asset per creare contenuti sui social media, eccetera. Questo approccio può essere un motore di contenuti modulari che generano più di quanto Storyvine sia.
So I don't know if it's accurate, but it sounds amazing.
Yeah, right? Yeah, exactly. So let me go back. So I just wanted to share that. Let me share my screen again.
It is accurate, and the accent is good as well.
Oh, okay, good.
Amazing work.
Yeah, so thank you for sharing that. Yeah, like the story by. It's like, wow, really? So the stack of technology that's happening here. So you upload your video. So one of my requests is when you sign up for an account there, they give you 2 credits, so you can do 2 videos. So my request is, go here, get an account, find some interesting video, whether it's, a clip from a movie or something personal, and then share it in the Discord, in the show and tell channel, just so that we can all see examples of it. But what this thing is doing is it's cloning my voice. It's synthesizing my lips and sort of doing a layer on top of it. One of the glitches is if your hand goes over your face, you actually go under your mouth, which is kind of funny. I assume they'll fix that at some point. But it maintains the cadence and timing. So like when I'm like talking with my hands, like it was decently synced up with that. And it it just sounds like me. And you upload it, and it's probably a 10 or 15 minute processing time, but for what it's doing, it's mind blowing. So anyway, I just wanted to share this with. I mean, the level of game changer technology that just this is. I mean, think about if you've got a media channel, you could just enter a new market, right, like that, or language barriers just disappear. So anyway, that's that. Okay. So final thing of the evening. Drea and Jane, who both couldn't be here tonight. Jane's up in Montana somewhere, Drea's in Europe somewhere. They've been working on an interview series with this guy named Anton from the Ukraine, who's got cerebral palsy and has been using ChatGPT and GitHub Copilot to dramatically amplify his capabilities. And so he can't communicate in real time, but he can communicate now incredibly well because of these tools, and he can code really well because of these tools. And so this is a video that was put together by GitHub, by Copilot, I think. I think it's a it's a promotional piece for them. But it's really good. If you go to the AI Salon group on LinkedIn, there's the first part of an interview series that Drea and Jane put out. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to share this video. It's 11 minutes long. It's quite inspiring. And then I've got a couple of questions that are kind of, they're not specifically related to disability and accessibility, but in the neighborhood. So I just want to play this, and then I'll share this URL in the chat, and I can share it on in the Discord as well. But let's see. Because of what just happened, hang on. I need to share in a different way. Hold. You're so fast. All right. Can you hear?
My name is Anton and I'm
can hear
from
you.
Ukraine. As a freelance developer living with cerebral palsy, tasks like typing and speaking can be difficult, which limits my ability to communicate effectively. My first laptop only had DOS, and there were no accessibility features available. To type a parenthesis, I had to press Shift+9, but I could only use one finger, so I had to hold Shift with my nose. If you try working like that, you'll quickly understand why I couldn't afford to fix my code many times. Text can compress a vast amount of information into a small set of symbols. I assess which ones are necessary for communication with ChatGPT and which ones I can omit entirely. For me, it's not the power of the language, but the ability to make it short. AI has played a significant role in simplifying complex physical actions and enhancing skills that are challenging for me due to my disability. I realized early on that I was different from others and encountered discrimination and inequality at a young age. Even though I was a capable student, the lack of information about the experiences and lives of people with disabilities played a significant role. At that time, I was torn between stereotypes about disabled individuals and my own abilities. And I managed to learn that language in 1 month. So I started to learn more and more programming languages. I was about 14 when I created my first program.
Anton's first program was a game, like usual platformer with balls, but it was funny, and my first try was to draw something for his games.
Later on, it became easier for me to write code as I learned about autocomplete. I am not satisfied with just quantity, but also quality. That's why I continue to search for new ways to optimize my workflow. Gradually, I learned Git and started using private repositories. My first programming job was at 25, and my first clients were found through social networks. They saw how I helped other people and gave me a job. I always inform my clients about my disability. Moreover, I present it as an advantage because it provides me with extensive experience in solving complex and unconventional problems.
From childhood, he always trying physically to get better, like level up. In morning, he go on a cold shower outside on a garden. Yay! He work out in gym. He always trying to get his soul and body more strong.
That's what it sounded like in Kiev this morning as Ukrainians faced down the reality of a Russian invasion.
Russia started bombing Ukrainian air bases and other military installations around the country.
When the war started, I was focused on becoming independent because I saw how challenging life could be. But the situation in Ukraine became critical, and I was forced to leave.
It was my 23rd birthday, and Anton came to my room at 5 a.m. and said, "The war is started. Happy birthday, sister." For me, it was very, how to say, strange morning.
The first phrase I uttered was, "Hey, sister, happy birthday. You know what? We're heading to Slovakia soon. Start packing bags. Oh, by the way, a war has started." I faced difficulties with sarcastic humor, and that time was no exception. Yevgeny and I have been friends for many years. Several years ago, he moved to Slovakia. Partly because of Yevgeny, we made the decision to move to Slovakia as quickly as possible after the war started.
I was starting my career and I just tried to find online some tutors who can help me, and Anton was one of those. I just wrote to him, asked if he can help me for free because I haven't had money. Then we just started communicating. He helped me with some homeworks. He tried to explain in writing what's going on in the code, how I can make things better. Usually I wanted him just to give me an answer, and he's like, no, you should come to the answer by yourself and not like just me doing the homework for you.
Django? Для чего Django?
As much as he can, he tried to help Anton, because Anton like mentor for him, and he find for us apartment, so he take care and help us very much.
My life didn't change much in Slovakia, because even in Ukraine I had a very basic lifestyle, because almost all day I work on my own projects or I work on freelance projects. I can literally delve into a problem for days and nights, reading scientific articles, searching for any possible ways to at least partially solve the problem.
When you hire him to work on a project, you can be sure it will be done like the best way it can possibly be done. But at the same time, for him, it's not the best thing to have this trying to do everything perfect. In IT, it's rarely possible.
Developers should occasionally limit themselves. Trying to accomplish tasks with limited access to external libraries or tools can foster creativity and encourage developers to find alternative solutions by experiencing the frustrations and limitations firsthand. It is crucial to promote information about disabled developers among other disabled persons.
We spent a lot of time together. He pay for living, for food, such things, and I take care of house, and I made my art. So we can, how to say, live in some kind of symbiosis. For me, waving and coding a little bit similar. In coding and in waving, you're writing the new line, trying to figure it out how it will be and how will look final result.
When I first heard about GitHub Copilot, I was doubtful that it could handle such a complex task as coding. But I was surprised at how helpful and relevant the suggestions it gave me were. Sometimes, it even seemed like it could read my mind because it would suggest code that I hadn't thought of yet. Although this particular aspect of AI may not be widely discussed, it possesses the power to counter my pessimism by presenting optimistic alternatives, helping me overcome mental challenges.
Both of us, we're hard workers, and it's nice to have someone who you can speak to. Sometimes we have evenings when I just come, there is Lera, Anton, we can just chill out, have some drinks, talk.
И опять буду работать, потому что всем заказчикам нужно чем быстрее, и вот это все, и да. Чтобы вы понимали.
Life is not always easy, and sometimes you're like, I have some problems, like I can't finish this, I can't do that. For me personally, having Anton around really pushes me, it motivates me to, pushes me forward.
A few years ago, I realized that I could hide forever, or I could gradually start opening myself up to the world, publishing my code, and striving to make it potentially open and accessible. While it's possible that no one may read my code, the mere thought that someone could read it compels me to write it more responsibly and cleanly. I can now not only write the code itself but also detailed comments, documentation, and project descriptions. Previously, I physically couldn't afford to do this. I firmly believe that AI has enormous potential to make a positive impact on the lives of people with disabilities. Through my active engagement in studying machine learning and conducting research, I aim to harness the power of AI for the betterment of our lives. It has truly assisted me in pushing beyond my limits.
Yeah, I mean, quite inspiring. I think about whatever this industry is. It's not an industry. Whatever's happening right now with this stuff, it's very easy to get caught up in the hype and the bullshit and the excitement and the tech and the opportunity and all that. And then you see something like that, you're like, the impact is going to be profound on many, many people. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know why it hit me so hard, but it did. It just, I would love to hear your thoughts. What does that inspire in any of you? I got nothing.
Well, it looks like we have a few hands raised, so we'll start with Roger.
So this is an interesting sort of counter to all the concern about unanticipated negative consequences, which is certainly a very real concern. But I'm sure nobody who was designing this ever imagined that it would have this sort of application. So I think there's a pretty broad spectrum of unanticipated benefits and applications that can help a lot of people. And I think the generality of AI tools means that a lot of different sort of smallish problems, like not that for Anton is a small problem, but in the case of all of humanity, relatively smallish problems, a whole lot of different problems can potentially be helped with these tools with a pretty modest investment of I imagine Anton did, invested a reasonable amount of time tuning the stuff to his needs, but it wasn't like years and years of work on his part to get these benefits. And equally, lots of other people with different issues will similarly be able to get benefits for modest investments.
Yeah, it's funny. One of the things that hit me in that video is you see the code typing really quickly, and my experience with ChatGPT is I'm blown away by how quick it writes. But then in looking what it does for him, it's like he's typing a letter at a time with a finger at a time, barely, and now it just writes that code for it like that. Staggering.
All right, Lee Chazen, you have something you'd like to add?
Yeah, this relates in several ways. I got to see firsthand how AI can be helpful, especially in the neurodivergent community. I go to these Saturday discussion groups, and one morning, this young woman, high school age, showed up to a discussion on complexity and consciousness. And her thoughts and contributions were brilliant. I estimated she was probably some type of a savant with maybe like a 170 or 180 IQ because her comments were just so brilliant. But I found out that she was there because a therapist had recommended that she do things in public. And then I later came to find out that she was going through some very severe problems, too many to list. And I asked her privately if she would be willing to try out this prompt that I was working on for a local therapist that used this EFT tapping technique. And she was the first one to test it out. And because of her disposition and because of her intelligence, there's no way that she can relate to a therapist nearly as well as relating to a chatbot. And she was getting very good results, and now is going to be working with me and helping to create a 2.0 version of that bot, because she knows exactly what people like her want to see. And I've been through similar things, not identical to her, but I wish that I would have had this technology too about 20 years ago, and it would have been extremely helpful. So yeah, I'm feeling very hopeful because of this.
Appreciate that story, Lee. Leah, good to see that you have joined us.
I made it. I've made it. So hi, everyone. Sorry I was late. Work-life balance was imbalanced, but here I am. I think something I've been reflecting a lot on, and I think this video really brings it home for me, is that also as someone who's neurodivergent, there have been a lot of opportunities that haven't been afforded to me because of the neurodivergence, right? And I am nowhere near where our subject was in the video, but like the idea that now the obstacles are being taken down for the people who I think are actually the neurodivergent, the people who are outside the mainstream are generally the kind of the thinkers that are like on the edges of things that really do have the capacity to make change and do things, but very often don't have the resources or tools or mentoring or support or community to help them do that. And I think AI has great potential to do that. Even just in my own using ChatGPT as like a project manager, right? As someone to help me get stuff done that I normally can't get done. I think that we're starting to see barriers come down that have been put up by culture and society, but it's really exciting to see those barriers come down.
Appreciate that input, Leah. Thank you. Shani, you're up next. Do you have something you'd like to add?
Oh yeah, I just wanted to add, just on the same topic, I saw several articles last week regarding how it's already starting to, AI starting to change healthcare. I'm looking at one article where a brain implant was implanted to decode thoughts into synthesized speech, allowing like paralyzed patients to communicate through a digital avatar. Another one where the wheelchair itself, it allows paralyzed people to be able, like the wheelchair itself stands up and it allows them to like have engaging conversations, and the wheels themselves initiate the standing position. And so the possibilities are just so endless with AI. I just can't imagine like the next 5 years, like what the landscape is going to look like, and how it's going to give people who are, you know, disabled or have certain type of disabilities, or how it's going to change their lives. Like it's going to be, to me, the benefits outweigh all of the talk of the, you know, the end of humanity type of things. I think it's going to help humanity, and I think it's going to help us be better, like even out the playing field a little bit, where people who were accessibility challenges and things of that nature are going to be like a thing of the past. So I'm all for it.
Yeah, it's, you know, let me pose one final question here, and if either of you guys hear what I'm saying, just let me know. Another thing that struck me about that video is that, like, it dramatically impacted how he does his work, what his work is, what his work can be. And I'm just curious, you know, for those of you that have been applying AI in your work, I'm just curious, like, how has it changed your work? Like, good, bad, or indifferent, right? The famous letter from that 3D developer that said, you know, I don't do 3D modeling anymore. I hate my job. I'm just a prompter now. You know, it changed his work. That for the boss it was good, but for him it was a tragedy. And I'm just curious, you know, how is AI? Is it changing your work? How is it changing your work? What's different?
All right, Peter, you're up first.
It's a great question, Kyle. I feel like it feels like a prosthetic, a knowledge prosthetic often. So obviously I'm not in the same situation Anton is, but the boost that he can get, I don't get as much a percentage of boost, but it's the same kind. You know, I can get more done. I can do it faster. I can do it better. I can essentially know things that I don't really, you know, I shouldn't be able to. So for me, for instance, I use ChatGPT a lot for a lot of different things, but one of them is I've been a coder for 30, 40, 50 years, whatever. I know lots of different languages, and there's lots of languages that I kind of know but don't know really well, right? But if somebody says, if I need to, you know, hey, can you fix this program in this other language that I know a little bit of but don't, right? It's I I heard somebody else say this, and I had the same feeling. It's like Trinity in Matrix when she says, "Hey, I need to fly a helicopter." Right? Download that. It's a lot like that.
Oh,
You know,
that's
it's like,
interesting.
oh, all of a sudden I can program in TypeScript. Or the other thing that's really weird is I need to fling data around in some way. And I know I could sit down and write a program in 2 hours to do it, or I can turn to ChatGPT and in 5 prompts and 5 minutes, bam, 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 I've got. So I'm writing a lot more little programs that get stuff done in my life that I could have done but would never have, because it's literally like, you know, 20, 30, 50 times faster.
That's amazing.
All right, thanks for that. Dean Brady, you're up next.
Yeah, had to leave, but actually I decided to stick around. I think there's a couple things. One, I can do things easier, faster. So just really mundane, stupid things like, you know, websites that don't have the right aspect ratio for an image you want to put in. Somebody in marketing will give you an image and it's like, yeah, that's not going to work. I can just do generative fill now and make the image as wide or as tall as I want. And it's easy, it's fast. And unless you know what you're looking for, you really can't tell the difference. And it's more than good enough. So just stupid stuff like that to me is already a huge benefit. And then the other would be, though, I think unlocking skills or capabilities I kind of had, but not really. So I think I make a really good creative director. I know what I want, but I don't have the skills with my hands to translate that into the computer. I have a brother-in-law who's a fine artist, and he'll doodle something that I could never draw if I took 1,000 hours of classes. But with AI now, I can bring creativity. I was laughing last night. I posted, I think, in the Discord, Kyle, that, you know, I was up for like 2 more hours working on a screenplay that I really had no intention of writing. And it was just the ability to interact with it, get it to prompt, and actually have it respond in a way that gets me then to, you know, it's bringing out new creativity for me that I kind of knew was there, but I just didn't know how to expose it. So for me, I think that's the really exciting part from a work and from a personal perspective.
Awesome.
All right, we've got about 1 more minute. Leah, you're up next.
Okay. I've been thinking, it's like, it changes daily, right? So it's like, what did I do in the last week that AI helped me? And it helped me edit photos in the Lightroom tool that I use. It helped me do generative fill for a portrait that needed retouching. It helped me fix a background for a portrait that needed retouching. And ChatGPT has been helping me build out a marketing plan to get marketing back up and running. And that's all been in that was like 2 days of work last week. So it's exciting because that would have been a week of work or 2 weeks of work.
All right, do we have time for one more?
Yeah, let's do one more.
All right, Anne Murphy.
I want to hear what Anne has to say, because I know she's totally transformed her work. So
yeah, so I one of the things that's just been so incredible for me, but more so I hope for the people who I get to work with, is that we're able to show people, when I'm teaching people how to use ChatGPT in their work, I'm able to demonstrate right before their very eyes how brilliant they actually are, because there's nothing getting in the way, right? It's their thoughts, their strategy, their hopes, their dreams, their fears, their passion, without the impediment, the speed bump, or whatever difficulty they may have expressing themselves with the written word, which we have come to worship in many ways more so than the actual gold of the work that they're doing. And so when I'm working with somebody, I work in nonprofit fundraising, and imposter syndrome, limiting beliefs, it's a huge problem, gets in the way of people's ability to show up comfortable in their skin. And when we put a tool like this in somebody's hands who, for whatever reason, isn't comfortable in their own skin, or doesn't think they're smart enough, or doesn't think that they're articulate enough or well enough pedigreed, and in 8 seconds, their brilliance shows up in black and white right before their eyes. I mean, that's a humongous breakthrough. It's a gift to them, but for me, it's a gift. It's a gift for like my one time around on this mortal coil. So pretty magical.
awesome. Beautiful. I think we'll end it there. It's a great way to wrap it up. Thank you all so much for your time. Leah, it's good to see you. I'm sorry you were dealing with the gas man, but you got to do what you got to do, right?
Sometimes it's just life gets in the way. Still haven't figured out AI for that yet. Still quite
Yeah,
haven't. There's certain things that they don't quite have an AI solution for yet. One day.
Yeah.
One day.
Anyway, this is really inspiring. I'll thank you all so much, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. And please go to Discord, start hanging out. Let us know if you want to do the guild thing, and we will get that shit figured out. Peace, everyone.
Awesome.
Good to see you.
Thanks. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.